AEW Dynamite took place from Southaven, Mississippi. I guess that's a suburb in Memphis, Tennessee. And you started the show off with a recap of the Elite, their big win from last week's main event, and Heyman's decision not to celebrate them. That's what I guess the show's going to be around. Got Dave Brown, Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone on commentary for the opening match. And you start the show. You have a tag team match. You have Hangman Page and Kenny Omega against the Private Party. I have to say, with the Private Party, it really looked like they were going to be big stars. They were going to put the gas behind these guys. They could have been champions. It's just not happening. I thought once they beat the Young Bucks, it was a big deal. But I guess with the Young Bucks, beating them is not that big of a deal because they just put anyone over because they think they're over really much. So that's what they do. Yeah, not that much to say with the Private Party. It's a bit disappointing. I thought they'd be bigger stars. But anyway, Hangman, Page, and Kenny Omega were obviously the favorites here. They did, though. They're still teasing some heat between them. I think they're going to probably do a match soon. What you had was Page and Omega. They get the win. It was a solid match. It went on for all. It's the kind of match you want to start to show off. I thought I was more into NXT than when they were both on head-to-head. I was far more interested in the women's stuff on NXT. But here, it was still a good match. It's just, who's what this is going to be. They're just building stuff up. So Private Party hit a gin and juice on Omega. Page broke up the win. Omega hit a one-winged angel on Quen, and he pinned him. And they fist bump after the match. And what they do is they redo the angle from a few weeks ago where Pac attacked Michael Nakazawa backstage. They did the exact same thing. They show Pac beating him up on the Titantron, and Omega, oh no, Michael Nakazawa, he runs off to make the save. I mean, I guess Omega, he's so close with all these Japanese guys. He did one thing, so he fights back. It's like, yeah, I'm sure he really regrets he was not at New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom 14 past week, and that was such a great show. But I'm sure Omega he was sorely missed. I must have killed Omega hitting it to be on that show. It was probably killing him. So after the break, the announcer discussed the rest of the card. Brandi Rhodes joined the commentary team. Excalibur asked what her interest was in the upcoming title match. Brandi says she wasn't interested. She was only there because she was invited, and this was the worst part of the show, probably. So they show Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida sitting ringside for the match, and then they said, Brandi said, Chris Statlander isn't the alien, she's the one with face paint raw. Stupid for playing into this, and she doubts that Britt Baker's a doctor because she seems dense, and then she buries Excalibur for wearing a mask, which I wish everyone should be doing. So yeah, she was off on commentary. The match was, I don't know, there's just something about this. It was just the worst thing. It's such a disaster. Rio's talented. It's just, they did a horrible job with her as champion. Chris Statlander, I don't see much in her. I don't know what she really has. This was just a mess. It's a horrible match. It was really bad. This is really, really fucking bad. It's just one of those things where you're watching, oh my god, what's wrong with this company? It's like, somebody's gonna die in a few months. That's the kind of vibe you get watching this anyway. They finished off Statlander go for a pile driver near the ropes. Kong tipped Statlander from the floor, and Rio got to cradle for the win. Kong jumped after the match. He attacked Statlander. Rio tried to save it, but got laid out. Shida jumped the rail and made the save. Britt Baker refused to enter the fray, watched him. They show Big Swole and Sonny Kiss there to make the save as well. They show the Nightmare Collective retreat. So this match, I was not a fan. I hate the Nightmare Collective. It sucks. Next, you got Sammy Guevara and Christopher Daniels. Oh, man, Daniels, he's 50. This guy, he's too old. It's just, I'm tired of seeing Daniels. I've been watching, it feels like I've been watching this guy for like 30, not 30 years, probably 20 years now. It's like, oh my god, how many times did I see Christopher Daniels? Anyway, this was fine. It was okay. Sammy Guevara gets the win. It was a decent match. Pentagon interrupted from the stage with in a promo, basically calling out Daniels. Guevara gets the win, and that's what they're going to set up later, I guess. Evil Uno and Dark Order come to their match to try to recruit Daniels. He turns them down. They start attacking him, and SCU and Young Bucks make the save. This angle sucked. This show, this is a wet fart, this show, I swear. Next, you have Cody and Dustin Rhodes with Arn Anderson against the Lucha Bros. This is the kind of match you want to watch a lot. Hey, you look at this, Cody and Dustin, Lucha Bros, we'll have a great match. I don't know, there's just something off. I think wrestling's a lot about momentum too. Like when you have a really shit match, you can like destroy a show. Some bad angles, like the vibe of the show goes down, even when these guys are trying to work hard. It's so hard to get a crowd back. Man, this was just not into it. I don't know. Dustin gets the win with he hits a final reckoning on Phoenix for the win. Tony Schiavone went to the ring to interview Cody, see if he would agree to MJF demands, and Art interrupted and said Cody would like to talk about this week. They show Alex Marvez interview Lanny Poffo during the commercial to promote the AEW Dark product or whatever. I don't know. MJF comes to the ring, and this was another long segment. A lot of talking on the show. Wow. He comes with Wardlow. He calls out Cody, and all of a sudden DDP comes out. Paige comes out, and DDP cuts a promo. He looks old, but he's really excited to be there. And during the time, to disrespect him, what they had was MJF on his phone. There was a funny sign in the cross that MJF is a virgin. That was hilarious. Anyway, DDP just did the same old shit he did in WCW 19 years ago, basically. He basically, he talks about TNT, and then all of a sudden MJF calls out the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. I love saying the Bunny. That's Ali. He said the average DDP fan was dead, which is probably true, unfortunately, with the death rates. Yeah, he said he would send him straight to hospice and take one of his daughters and make her feel the bang. Oof. DDP goes after MJF, but Butcher and Blade jump in. But they get their ass kicked, actually. DDP hits the diamond cutter at his age. He hits it. MJF sees it, and he retreats. He sends the Bunny into her, but then into Paige. But MJF hits Diamond Dallas Page with a low blow, and then he taunts Cody. And he laid out his mentor, and all of a sudden you have QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes run in to save DDP, and MJF retreats. This was a good angle. It was rushed a bit, but I thought this was fine. I enjoyed it. I like seeing DDP there. I thought they did well here. It was interesting. I think the problem is with AEW, like they when they want to do a pay-per-view, they spread it out a lot, and they have to like build up the same match for like 8 weeks in a row, and it gets really stale. That's the big problem they have. They are better off with just being the elite and building up stuff like that. It's either one of those things, just don't build up matches this quickly, or you have to do 12 pay-per-views. I do not want 12 pay-per-views. I think you're better off 3 to 4 a year. This is the route they have to go. So, this is what they're going to do. It's going on too long. Next, you had Jurassic Express come out against the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. I love Orange Cassidy. He's the best. He's hilarious, but he was only in the ring for a little bit. He looks exactly like the Jason Solomonster. If you're listening to Solomonster Sounds Off, they look identical. This was a fun match. Jurassic Express, everyone hates. People like Jungle Boy. They love Luchasaurus, but everyone hates Marco Steins. I can't watch this guy. But you had Trent, Beretta, and Cassidy there as well. It was a fun match. It was okay. It was enjoyable. Taylor went for the powerbomb, but Jungle Boy turned into a victory while pinning him, and he gets his first AEW win, and this was a decent matchup. Next, you have they announced Pac versus Darby Allin next week. You have Chris Statlander and Hiroki Shida against Awesome Kong and Mel. You have Butcher, Blade, and MJF against QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes, and DDP. So DDP's wrestling next week. Holy shit, DDP's going to do a match. And you have Chris Jericho, Santana Ortiz against the Jurassic Express in 2 weeks. So you have Jericho, Guevara, and Hager enter for the main event. Angle, no Ortiz and Santana with them. So Guevara proposed a booty call to Salma Hayek. That was pretty funny. So here we go. The big thing is Moxley going to join the Inner Circle. Jericho introduced Moxley as his friend, and Moxley comes out. Jericho says they're all drunk and or they're all gassed up. The party's ready. Moxley says no one else's motivations. He can't be bought. He didn't come for AEW with to money. He came to Dynamite. That's why his answer is, what's he choose? He chooses yes. Moxley joins the Inner Circle for about 5 minutes. Jericho gives him the keys to the $750,000 car. They all celebrate. They all drink champagne. Moxley is thrilled. He's loving it. Moxley is excited to join with them. They're all celebrating. They're drinking. It was a strange... it was a good segment. Like, all right, what... I was just looking at my clock and thinking to myself, here we go. When is it going to happen? When's he going to turn? And once you saw Guevara and Hager leave the ring, of course it was going to turn. Moxley says he was just kidding. He takes a fake champagne bottle, smashes it over Jericho's head, hits a paradigm shift, and hits a paradigm shift to Guevara, who sold it like he was dead. As Hager runs in the ring, Moxley leaves. Moxley gets his revenge. Well, not really revenge, but he sets up an angle with Jericho, great angle here. I thought that was a really good angle to end it. I thought it ended up good. I like the big angle, the Jericho Moxley angle, and the DDP MJF angle. Both those angles are really good. It's like AEW wants pride itself on being wrestling, but those two angles really carried the show. So yeah, two good segments. The matches sucked. It was strange. Like the talking was really good. The matches not the greatest. So that was it. I thought it was okay. An okay show tonight.